The bottom line is you can give away $2 billion in Alaska's revenue, like the governor proposes. That's the largest part of his bill. And just hope that companies don't take that money outside. That's a fool's game. No corporation would give away $2 billion to a competitor and say, here's the money, go do with it what you want. That money's going to end up in Libya, Iraq, other places. And what we say instead is that we will give you reasonable tax breaks, ones that won't take Alaska off the fiscal cliff, if you invest in Alaska in new production. So Senator French talked about the 7-year tax break for new fields. We have a number of other provisions that will produce more oil and put more oil into the pipeline, and that's what I'm going to talk about. First, if you produce in an existing field more oil than you produced in 2012, we will tax that oil at a lower rate under the GRE proposal that Senator French mentioned. We'll give them a 10% GRE. Basically what that means is if you produce in an existing field, Prudhoe Bay, Kuparuk, Alpine, more oil than you produced in 2012, that amount of oil that you produce above your 2012 level will be taxed at a rate that's about 85% of how much you would pay under current law. We do the same thing for heavy oil. There are roughly 1.2 billion barrels of producible heavy oil in the ground at Prudhoe Bay, Kuparuk, and other fields on the North Slope. It's based on a legislative research report we have. That is part of Alaska's future, those 1.2 billion barrels of oil. That could be 50,000 barrels or 100,000 barrels of oil down the pipeline every day. And so we say we'll give you a 10% GRE reduction, which again results in a tax that's about 85% of what you pay today, if you produce new heavy oil. It's based on the recognition that heavy oil is more expensive to produce, and that is our future, and we want to get that heavy oil down the pipeline. The governor's bill does not have a provision for heavy oil, which is one of the two main parts of Alaska's future. We're hoping shale oil will be another part. We'll also give you a tax break inside your legacy fields, Prudhoe Bay, Kuparuk. If you drill in a new portion of those fields, what's considered a new participating area, a distinct geologic new pool of oil. So if you move over to a new part of that field and you start developing it, for the first 5 years of production, we will give you a 10% GRE reduction, which again results in about a tax of roughly 85% of what you pay today. So if you expand your production in existing fields, if you produce heavy oil, you will earn a tax reduction. If you do nothing, like under the governor's bill, you won't get your tax reduction at all. Doing nothing does not get you a tax benefit under our bill. We do two other things to get oil into the pipeline. Also on heavy oil, we're not there yet. We still need to do research and development on heavy oil production to get those 1.2 billion barrels out of the ground. And so we have a research and development credit. And that we hope will help companies continue to do the research that's necessary to get that heavy oil down the pipeline. And finally, for new producers, one of the things that we have heard time and time again from new producers, new explorers, is they'll find oil, they'll go to the majors will say, you can't use our processing facilities. The processing facility is the last link before you get the oil into the pipeline. And the new producer will say, we can't afford a new processing facility. So we will give a benefit to those who build new processing facilities for new oil. And the benefit will be a prime plus 1% loan through ADA. The legislature will compensate ADA if ADA loses money on it, as we have to under law. And we will give you a low interest loan so you can build a processing facility if the majors won't let you use theirs. So those are the main provisions to put new oil into the pipeline: new processing facilities for new producers, and tax benefits to those who expand oil in existing fields. The bottom line is this: if you develop in Alaska, if you produce more oil in Alaska, we'll give you a reasonable tax break. If you want a $2 billion check to take to Libya or Iraq, you're not getting that from our bill. You have to produce to get a reduction.